Hey guys, Cameron here with Palmetto State Armory. We're back with another episode of Coffee Talk, and today I got a really awesome guest with me. I got Mike Probin from Kronos Knives to talk about what we're trying to achieve with Kronos and how we're getting into different markets here, not just with firearms. So thanks, Mike, for coming on. I appreciate you coming on with the podcast.
I'm excited to be here,
I'm
man.
glad, man. I'm glad.
We're going to have fun.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So, Mike, let's talk a little bit about Mike. So, first of all, I want to apologize to everyone out there. Mike is a Michigan fan. And I just want to first off say I am sorry about that. He's wrong. We all know that. But anyway, we'll give him a pass for this episode.
Thanks for the pass.
Yeah. So, Mike, so you're originally from Michigan. So how did you end up down here in South Carolina?
Let me try to make a long story short.
Well, you got time.
I got time? Okay.
Yeah.
So born and raised in Detroit, then lived out in the suburbs right next to Detroit in Livonia, Michigan. Born and raised there. In 1985, I moved to Florida for 23 years. Michigan was all about the auto industry, and I worked for, Ford Motor Company. So did my brother, my dad, his dad, generations,
yeah, that's
right?
what they do. Yeah, it's all,
It's all that. So, things got tough there in the 80s.
Yeah, 100%.
So I moved to Florida and started my own pest control company and owned that for 15 years.
How did you just decide one day you were going to start a pest control company in Florida, Mike?
My sister married a gentleman that was in the pest control industry,
So
had a
you had
pest control company.
Oh, so you had
and he
it
was
in.
in partnership. He was in partnership with his brother, and he didn't like being in business with his brother. And I didn't really know him, so it wasn't like going into business with family, right?
Yeah, for sure.
He had the license. I had the money for the new business.
Got it.
And my parents had moved to Florida. My brother did. My sister did. So
It was just natural to go.
I followed them, and we started a pest control company, and then sold it 15 years later.
Nice.
And then got into consulting. I'm a past president of the Florida JCs, and started consulting at all different types of companies.
That's awesome. So then how did you end up from Florida to South Carolina?
It was Georgia first.
Oh,
right.
So you've been all over.
I have been all over. So it comes with jobs. So, I totally believe if you love what you're doing, you don't work a day in your life,
100%.
right? And I learned, I swore after getting laid off. And remember, back in those days, if you didn't work there, there was nothing.
Yeah.
That was your future, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I wasn't going to work for anybody ever again.
Yeah.
And that's why I started my own company. So if I don't like where I'm working, or if it doesn't work out, I'm gone.
Yeah.
I'm going to go do something else.
For sure.
So then it was Georgia for 2 years, right? And then a headhunter reached out to me about Palmetto State Armory.
Nice.
And my daughter lives in South Carolina, my grandkids.
Nice. And that's how that brought you here.
Yeah, man.
So when you first came to Palmetto State Armory, you came in as customer service.
Yeah, I came in as a director of customer service, running their call center.
Yep. And you did a lot there. Like, I mean, we've changed, like when you came in, obviously, for everybody, we're work on our customer service every day. So that's a big focus of ours. But you came in and really changed some of the processes and how we did things, and got some new systems in to help get those phone calls answered, to help get those emails answered and all that stuff, and really changed our customer service department. And how long did you do customer service?
I started with another upstart company in Florida, and part of my job as vice president of operations was setting up and running their call center, which I had never done before.
Oh, yeah.
So that's where I learned, and it's really been call centers or business management, where I'll come in and do a root cause analysis for the company, give them my opinions and what needs to be done. So that's where it started. I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Love call centers and customer service.
So what is some of the stuff that you did on the customer service side that like changed what we were doing from before you got there?
It was people.
Yeah.
The first thing you have to do is value your people.
Yep.
Take care of your people and build a great team.
Yep.
I'm not the smartest. Yeah. I'm not the smartest person in the room, so I hire the smartest people in the room.
Culture matters too,
culture,
right? Yeah,
culture
100%.
matters, and PSA had a great culture.
Yep.
It just needed to be transferred over to that department.
For sure.
Really spent time with the people, and then brought in a new phone software.
Yep.
Then our next step was artificial intelligence for the call center. And then one of the big steps was we allowed all our people to work from home. So we went out of that old type call center building cubicles and let them work from home, which is a big benefit, because I wanted to be able to recruit the best people around. So we hire from other states.
Yep.
Within our own state.
Yep.
And everybody's remote that works in the call center.
That's awesome. And so let's talk about some of the numbers. So like your call center, like answering timeline is way down, right? Like,
yeah,
I mean,
way down.
Like,
we answer a call within 6 seconds.
That's awesome. And then what about emails? Like how do the email system work? Like, cause I know a lot of people email in all the time.
They're responded either the same day or within 24 hours. And so naturally, if they call in, if they email in and it's 6 o'clock on Friday, it's going to be Monday, but it's going to be Monday.
Yeah, 100%.
So our average turnaround time for emails is 24 hours.
That's awesome. And 6 seconds for a phone call?
Yeah. When they call, answer. So first they'll get our automated attendant.
100%.
And they'll work them through that, but they can always get to a live person.
Yeah.
And now we have that automated attendant, which we never had before, 24/7. So you can call us and get information about our stores, anything. You can cancel an order programmatically. So it's really taken our technology and our service to the next level.
And it makes us become more efficient too,
Absolutely.
right? And it's providing that customer, like, to be able to talk to somebody, you know, especially like you call anybody. Like I had to try and call American Airlines a couple of weeks ago, and that was a nightmare. They told me the automated system said it was going to be a 4-hour wait. Yeah. That's crazy, right? But you're saying 6 seconds?
Well, that's when they come to the live agent queue.
Yeah, for sure.
They answer the phone within 6 seconds. So we're staffed appropriately.
That's awesome.
You know, you're not going to be on hold and listening to music for hours.
Yeah, you're not going to be sitting there.
And when I started, that's kind of where we were.
Yeah, for sure. So we changed a lot, and a lot of that is coming from you and the team that you built over there, and
and
really
also
making a focus.
Also from Palmetto State Armory, they realized, listen, we got to do better
100%.
in this area, and they put a lot of effort, and they let me do my job. PSA is just a great company to work for.
Just a lot of support. Yeah.
Big time support.
For sure.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Kronos Knives, right? So how, you just kind of gave me a backstory about like where you worked and stuff. How did you get into knives? Like, where did that even come from?
So that was another consulting job. So Ontario Knife Company.
Yep.
It was a publicly traded company, and it was basically run by a family. And one of the sons in this family, it was a New York JC. So I'm a past president of the Florida JCs, and I've been a guest speaker at national conventions. And so he reached out to me, and he said, Mike, we're having some issues here. Could you come in and take a look for me and tell me what we're doing wrong? It's broke, and I'm not sure how to fix it. And so that's got me to Ontario Knife Company.
That's awesome.
And that's where I learned, always loved knives.
For sure.
Right?
Yeah.
But that really got me into, and I ran their sales and marketing.
Got it.
They never did folders. I was the one that brought in folders to the company, clam packaging their products. They had great military contracts. I got them back into the commercial market.
Yeah, to the retail sales, like on the shelves of the big box retailers and all that stuff.
Yep.
So how long did you do consulting for Ontario Knife Company?
About 6 months. And then they said, hey, listen, you can come here once a week. You can work from the house. We want to hire you full time. And then they even offered me the president's position, but I would have to move there full time.
Yeah.
And I wasn't going to do that.
I got you. But you were able to, by doing that, establish some relationships within the knife industry and be able to talk about it and know the business and know the knives and all that stuff.
Handled all their shows, SHOT Show, Blade Show, handled all that for them, all their marketing, everything.
That's awesome. And so because of that experience, you were able to help start Kronos Knives under JGE, a sister company of Palmetto State Armory.
Yeah.
And so let's talk about Kronos Knives. Like, what is your vision behind starting Kronos Knives? Like, I know, you have a knife background, but like one day you just woke up and said, I want to start a knife company?
No, it was Jamin and I were talking one day, and I mentioned, because I had looked at our online knife sales where we sell all brands, right? Yep. And I thought we could do a better job.
For sure.
So I tactfully said, hey, Jamin and I was, I used to have some experience in knives, and I was looking at the online, and I think we could have a better assortment of products and pricing.
Yep.
And anyhow, the conversation got to where, well, you know what? I always thought we should have our own knife company.
Of course he said that.
Yeah.
Of course.
And that's where it started. And then the next thing was, can you help? And I said, absolutely, I can help.
Yeah.
You know, that just give me a challenge, right?
Yeah,
you know,
100%.
And it's something you were passionate about before.
Yep.
You know, and so first we started with our online, and it's continuing to get better.
Yep.
You know, our website and everything and the products that we carry.
Yep.
And then that expanded into, okay, let's start Kronos.
That's awesome. So where are we heading right now? So, right, we obviously launched Kronos at SHOT Show this year, right?
Yes,
And it's doing really well. The reception's been great,
it's doing
right?
great.
You know, it's doing great. We got a lot of new knives coming. We have a small catalog right now. We're expanding it, right? And so,
absolutely.
you know, where is it going from here, right? So I know we have a catalog, but like what's coming next? Like what's next for Kronos Knives?
Growth.
Yep.
But it's really our philosophy, which is the same philosophy as Palmetto State Armory. So we want quality products at an affordable price.
Yep.
I mean, if you know the knife industry, it's not uncommon anymore. And God love all the other companies. They're fantastic, right? But it's not uncommon to pay $350, $400, $500 for a folding knife.
I was just in the store the other day.
Made in the USA.
I was just in the store the other day. I think it was yesterday. And I went to go in and was like looking at a knife. I was like, oh, I never seen that knife before. I picked it up and it was $399.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So really, that's the philosophy. I would like to see our catalog, 95% of it be under $200.
It's a good, that's great.
But a quality knife.
For sure. Yeah. And it just goes with the same motto of who we are at Palmetto State Armory, right? It's about that accessible value, the accessible premium, right? We want to make sure that we give the consumer a quality product, but something that they can afford, right? And that's who we are at our core.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, lifetime warranty.
Yep. Just like Palmetto State Armory.
Absolutely. Just like Palmetto State Armory. But people don't realize, and as I got back into this industry and started to look at everything, there are more knife law restrictions
there are a lot
for knives than there is for guns.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy to think about.
Right. And then let's, elephant in the room, out the front in autos, right? There's states where it's legal, or towns where there's, or municipalities where it's legal, but it's against the law federally.
Yeah.
So one thing we're working on and taking some of our resources from this company and PSA is to go fight those laws and get them changed.
Yeah, and that's a big thing that we're doing at JGE now, is that we are taking the time, and again, it's not just the Second Amendment rights we're defending. We're trying to make sure that we defend all the constitutional rights, all the ridiculous bureaucratic laws that are out there that don't mean anything. We're going to do it, right? And so what you were just up in Washington, D.C. a couple months ago, right?
Absolutely.
And you were up there in support of trying to help get some of these knife laws changed over and get it back to the forefront and help promote that, just like we do on the firearm side.
So we're hoping we have two sponsors, Democrat and Republican, sponsoring the transfer of. So when you get a knife and you live South Carolina, right, and you're traveling to New York, it's legal for you to have that in Columbia, South Carolina, but you're going to New York. Then you get pulled over for speeding. That knife may not be legal in that town. Well, we need to have a law that you can carry that knife. It needs to be locked up. It's legal where you're coming from, so you don't get into trouble. Yeah, right?
For sure.
And now I'm not saying you get arrested, but you could be arrested.
Yeah, I mean, you don't know.
You don't know.
Yeah.
So we've got that bill that's going to go in front of the House, and we have two sponsors for it. Now, will it pass or not?
Yeah,
we're working on it.
Yeah,
and then our next big thing, it's the American Knife and Tool Institute, is the organization we're a member of.
Yeah,
they were up there with us.
Yep.
And we're going to try to get the federal Switchblade Act repealed or changed.
Yep. No, that's awesome. So it just goes to show, though, here at JGE, like when we really are passionate about something or we care, like we're going the extra mile. We're going to DC. We're going to support this stuff. We're trying to get your rights back. We're trying to get some of this bureaucratic mess taken care of. Like, we truly are about this life.
It is all about freedom. People don't understand that knives fall under the Second Amendment. Yeah. It's all about freedom. Yeah. And you should be able to carry, and I'll say it this way, an edged product. Yes. So, what about that surveyor, right? And they're surveying in all these other states. They have machetes. They're in the woods. They've got to cut paths or whatever. There's some areas they're going to go to where that tool, and a knife is one of the oldest tools there is, they're going to go to a town or a municipality or a state where that's illegal, and they could get arrested.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
It is crazy.
That's crazy to think about.
It's got to be changed.
Yeah.
And we're fighting that, and we're putting a lot of our efforts and funds to fight that battle.
That's awesome. So let's talk about some of the stuff you're doing with Kronos. So let's talk through about some of the partnerships that we have with Kronos Knives. I know Ken Onion, there's some other big names, right? Like
Absolutely.
We're working with some of the big guys in the knife industry that are well known to be a part of design some of the knives we're working on and all that stuff. So let's talk through some of that.
Yeah, that's amazing, right? Our company, we're in June. So the Kronos company is only 6 months old.
Yeah.
So from past relationships, the first one we did was a co-brand with We Knives, and one of their labels is Civivi.
Right.
Quality
knife.
So a really good knife, very affordable, high quality. We were able to do a co-brand, which they've never done before. With them. And we took one of their knives, which was the Brazen, and we upgraded everything on it. Better steel, made it more of a tactical knife, aluminum handles, windshield breaker, titanium clip, all this great stuff. And so it's the Brazen Kronos. So that was our first folder. Right. But then here came our designers. So relationship that with Ken Onion. So here soon, there's going to be the Kronos Gung Ho series.
There we go.
And it's a series of 4 fixed blade knives designed by Ken Onion.
That's awesome. That's awesome to see.
And I mean, he's well known. He's a rock star in the industry. And so we're so excited to have his support and have him be a designer for Kronos.
100%.
And then we have Chris Stroop Knives.
He's
one of our designers. Alan Armet from Papa Bear Knives. He's another one of our designers.
Very supportive of us too. I mean, every time we post a video, he is on there, whether it's gun or knives related, he's commenting on there, supporting us. I really like him. He's a good dude.
Justin Gingrich, he's been around, and that relationship, Ranger Knives were big at one time through Ontario Knife Company, and he's a great designer, and he's a custom maker. So,
that's awesome.
We're bringing on some really great designers that know how to design and help us and give us knowledge to make sure we're also getting quality knives manufactured. I will lean on these guys. I can't tell you how many times I've called Ken. In the middle of the night. And said, hey, what about this? This doesn't make sense to me. And they're all willing to help me.
And that's awesome. So it kind of goes back to the same mentality of like what we do on a daily basis on the firearm side. It's like high tides raise all ship, right? We're all in this together. We're going to DC. We're working with some of the best knives, guys out there in the industry, right? Like we're bringing everybody together. So it's really cool to see, like, as I remember almost a year ago when we sat down and we're talking about Kronos, right? And so I remember having that first conversation where me, you, and Jamin were sitting in that room and we had the PowerPoint up. We were talking about the vision of it, and it's cool to see how fast it came to fruition. It goes back to the PSA mindset of, going fast and getting stuff there and pushing it to the finish line and having the support of the company behind you to get what you need done. Right. And then, breaking down the barriers and all that stuff. So it's really cool to see. So where do you see Kronos Knives going? Like, say the next year, the next 5 years, like where are you trying to take this?
We're going to take it. We are going to be one of the biggest knife companies.
I love that.
The industry.
I love that.
So, right now we have like 12 SKUs. We're going to end up, here soon we'll have 20. So, I picture not many years in the future, we have 300 SKUs.
No, there you go.
Our philosophy,
catalog,
entire catalog, and that we make a positive impact on the knife industry.
That's awesome.
That's where we see. And it was, going back to that first meeting, me, you, and Jamin, I didn't know you that well.
No,
you're all into the guns, and you're all into that, but you were fired up about it and supportive and willing to help in any way. And so that's kind of the mentality of PSA, right? We're all on one team. And we go help each other.
Well, I really appreciate that.
That's really cool. So, I couldn't do it without you and what your help and support and Jamin's and the whole company support, man.
For sure. For sure. No,
it's amazing place to work.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, Mike, thanks for coming on this coffee talk. I really had a great time.
I hope you have me back soon.
Yeah, well, we'll see. You know, you're a Michigan fan. We'll see. So thanks for coming on, guys. Again, like, subscribe, comment below. Let us know what else you guys want to see here at Palmetto State Armory with one of our sister companies. Again, thanks, Mike, for coming on.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.